organization's private internal network, between an organization's private internal network, and the public internet. It's basically like a glass, like an ATM lobby, like a house in which there are certain people that can have access to, but there are certain people, a vast majority of people cannot have access to that house. And it also add an extra layer of security to your organization's local area network. So we are going to start with the configuration, because that is the most important thing, honestly. So I'm going to use a Cisco 7200. Then once that is done, we're going to use a security device, and the one we're going to use is Cisco ASA or it's basically like a Cisco firewall that allows certain network to basically run, but certain IP address, it basically like filters out certain IP addresses and maybe port numbers in some cases. So like the functions that mostly do is basically like to either block an internet or to allow access into the allow block certain IP addresses or to allow access to certain IP addresses. So and we're going to use two switches. We are going to use, normally I want to use this, but because of resources I'll have to use the normal Ethernet, and I'll keep it like this so that it's sorry, I need to go and put the whole Ethernet switch. Let me use this, and so this is going to be here. So this switch, one of these switch is going to be for our public internet, where we're going to connect it to 4 VPCs, while the second one is going to be our demilitarized zone. So let me spread this more wider. I don't know. Okay, let me just delete this. So this area, if you packet tracer this side, you'll be able to go to other side, and then you'll be able to see like this dotted stuff here. But I don't know, GNS is different. So and yes, in our VPCs we are going to set up VLANs, that's virtual local area networks. So we're going to use this. So the thing is that for our R1 and our ASC we are going to be using GNS3, but for our switches and our VPC we are going to be using our local desktop. So let me duplicate this. Okay, so these ones are going to be duplicate and here. And bring this one here at the very middle, and then let's duplicate these two and bring them here. This is going to be this is going to be our email server, and for a DNS server, So let's connect them now. Oh, hold on. Before then, escape. Okay, slots. Let me put it to FTX. I'm just saying FTX or something like that. Apply this and click OK. So escape. I want to use fast internet, so let me see 40, let me see GE bar. Okay, right. Aha. Okay, so okay, fast internet 00. Let me escape this slot here only has, let's use GE, and let's add one more just in case. Apply and OK. So let's work with this. Gig internet 0 to 0, and voila. Then from here, let's say 0 to 1 and Ethernet 0, 0 to 2 and Ethernet 0. Alright, so things are shaping up well. If we go to our cloud, this is how it's supposed to look like. So our cloud is supposed, like, I'm just gonna say our cloud. This is the router here, and then this is the firewall here, and then it's supposed to have 3 security zones. And then inside this one we have VLAN 10 to 20. We are going to configure with this one. So this switch is going to have 2 VLANs, VLANs 10 and VLAN 20. But this one is not going to have any VLAN since it's a DMS, and there is no need to add a VLAN in our DMS. This is going to be our web server and our mail server. While all this, these two are going to be connected to VLAN 10, and these two are going to be connected to VLAN 20. Alright, so let's continue. So let's connect this Ethernet 1, Ethernet 2, Ethernet 3, and Ethernet 4. So this one, Ethernet 1 and Ethernet 2. Alright, so let's bring them down here just to show, so that when we want to do this, we'll basically see it won't be jumbled up together. So let's go into this. So we're going to start our router now. This one too. I'm going to start it. And also all of this starts, and this one too. So the last time I did this project, no, sorry, I was going to say this project. So there was something that happened earlier on where I tried to connect like all my devices, because all the GNS3 devices, I connected all my devices, like my switch, my security, all this stuff. I connected them to the GNS3 VM, and all of a sudden the GNS3 crashed. Now I pray that doesn't happen, because I need this stuff to work. So let's go. We are going to start the configuration now. So I'm going to go into the switch 1 here. Sorry about that. Yeah, console, into the switch 1 console, and also here into the switch 2 console. So we just have to wait for this to pop up. Where's our solar winds? Normally this solar wind is supposed to show, but I don't know what's going on right now. Yeah, so this is the IP, this is the GNS3 virtual machine, and it has an IP here. Once you plug in this IP to your web, to your browser, it will give you this. Hold on, sorry about that. Let me cancel this. Let me go back. Yeah, no. So it will give you this. So this is the web version of your GNS3. You can basically do whatever you want here, but you know, I like to do my own locally. So how is this console working? Normally you're supposed to show the console, but I don't know what's going on. Let me see console. A critical error as occurred while running the web. Ignore. Oh. Wait, let me see the web. Oh no. Actually thought it was one. Okay, this is the only one that is running the this. You know what, let's just turn it off for now. Power of the machine. So we are going to turn it off from now, but we are going to console is not showing up. Maybe this switch starts messing up. Anyways, let me try and delete it for now. Wait, hold on. I want to test something. This device is slowing down. We are back. So I managed to fix the issue. So I had to increase my GNS vCore here. I had to increase the vCore to around 8 cores. So I'm using it now to run the software. Oh, hold on now. So hold on. So the first thing we are going to do is to configure terminal. We've already enabled our switch already. We already had the terminal mode, configuration mode. So now let's set up VLAN 10, and inside the VLAN we'll set up the name to be inside VLAN 10. Voila. Now let's just exit this and set up VLAN 20. You just have to be patient with me. You know, these switches, they are acting up. Okay, yeah. So VLAN 20, name inside, let's copy VLAN 20. So we exit again. The reason why we are doing this is so that we set up two separate VLANs for the two pieces that we have here. So these two here will be in VLAN 10, and these two here will be in VLAN 20. So that they will be able to like segment the network, because I want to make it so that these two, like I want to enable trunking, but that will be later on in the video. So let's continue. Oh yeah, so I enabled SSH to open SSH. This is partial. I'm using partial now, but let's just continue. Okay, so it's time to configure trunk point and make it trunk port and make it to face the firewall. This is our firewall that we have here, Cisco ASA. And to do that, we are going to type, first of all, let's see the interface. So this is the interface. I'm using interface GI0/0. So interface GI0/0. and we're going to do switch port trunk encapsulation dot 1q. This to basically like encapsulate it so that we'll be able to set up like virtual local area network. So we'll be able to enable trunking. Sorry. So now be switch port mode trunk. So we'll now type in switch ports. This would be for so that our VLAN 10 and 20 would be connected to our firewall via the switch ports. We have the trunking. Trunk allowed VLAN 10 20. Okay, let me remove this command. VLAN 10 let's just type this and this 20 and no shutdown. So this will now we're going to go into our VPC 1 and 2. So let's check where it's connected. So this is GI. Let me move this here. GI/1 GI/2 GI/. Okay, wait. Yeah. So this one here is connected to this. This one here is connected to this. This GI/0/1 0/2 and 0/0, and then this one is 1.0 1/0. So let's get to it. So to do that, we're going to use interface, or let me just limit it. Let me just abbreviate it. Range GI/0/1-2. The reason for this is so that we'll be able to like configure both 1 and 2 interface, 1 and 2 here. This GI01 and GI02 here. Alright. So let's go. Boom. And we're going to switch port mode access. So switch port. Switch port access, VLAN 10, and we are going to set up spanning tree. Port fast.
That's what.
Sorry about that. Boom. Port fast should only be enabled on port and single host. So this port has a cost temporarily bridging loop. Use with caution. Port fast will be configured to interface due to the range command. Okay, but we only have effect. When the interfaces are non-trunking mode. Okay. So we're going to talk about spanning tree first. Yeah. So spanning tree is port fast is basically like a Cisco feature. It allows you to switch ports to like um, connected end devices like this our VPCs here and maybe printers. That's if you have it. That's if you are using packet tracer. Um, this is basically used to bypass the standard STP listening and learning state. So that's the spanning tree protocol listening and learning state, and it moves it from that to the forwarding state. So let's continue with that. Let's continue with what we have here. And since now that we've enabled this, let's type in no shutdown. Now that we've enabled the port fast, spanning tree port fast, let's type in no shutdown and let's exit this. And we're going to go now to the VLAN 20. So we're going to do int range GNS3. Now because this last one here is 1/0, I'm not going to, it's not going to be GI0/3-4. I think I'm going to do this one separately, but I'm going to make it so that these two are going to be in the same VLAN. Alright, sorry about that. GI0/3. Okay. So switch port mode access, switch ports access VLAN 20, spanning tree ports fast. Okay, no shutdown. Alright, so we also need to do this for okay, 1/0. Let me just just highlight all this. Switch ports, node access, switch ports access, VLAN 20. Spanning tree port fast. No shutdown. Now let's exit. Alright, so we are done with this switch, this particular switch. Now let's move on to the other one. So we are going to wake this one off from limbo, but I want to quickly like suspend this so that it won't crash my GNS3 VM and start this. Let us, you'll still be able to check this symbol. So now let's go into the console and wait. Okay, so enable configure terminal, and let's do what we need to do. So we need to make sure that all the active ports are all in the same layer, and for us to do that, we just set up int range GI0/1-2. Okay, now just to confirm, let's do the usual switch port mode access. Now we're not going to use the VLAN because we're not configuring VLAN inside, but let's just do the normal spanning tree 3 port fast and no shutdown. Alright, so we are done with this one here. So let's suspend this. Let's just suspend this. Now let's go into the firewall. Let's go into the console, and we'll just have to wait a little bit because it's going to take some time. So you notice that we're not using port-A here, but VNC. That's because this firewall, you know, it doesn't use port-A. It basically has its own it has its own emulator, or it has its own console. So this one that we have here is called tight VNC. Okay, so let us now start the outside. Let us now start creating our demilitarized zone. This is where most of the work is going to go. This is where most of the work is going to, you know, take place. So first we need to set up outside interface configuration so that, you know, we'll be able to like have a connection to the public internet. So let's do interface let's first see the interface first. Okay, GI0/1. This is for this side here, and this is for this side. Okay, GI0/1 2. Okay, hold on. So let's do 0/0 0 to 2 0 to 2. Okay, don't think it's the same as this, you know. In I don't think it's the same as this Cisco, like, you know, it's a Cisco device, yes, but I don't think it's the same as, you know, the switches and the routers where you can just type it and abbreviate it. So let's just type in interface. Hold on. Wait. Okay. Would you like to enable anonymous error reporting? No. Alright, so let's try interface. GNS3/2. Oh, sorry. 0/0. Okay, so name if outside. Okay, so set security level for outside set to 0 by default. Alright, so let's set the security level to 0. Oh, security level 0. And what else again? Here we're going to set the IP address now. Address, let's use 203.0.113.2 255.255.5.252 and no shutdown. Alright, so I think we need to come out of this interface. Oh, one thing I forgot to do was to, you know, okay, exit. Oh, yes, suspended. So I think I'll do it later on. So one thing I forgot to do was to basically like write the configuration. I was supposed to do write and stuff like that for the both of them. So because I've suspended them, I'll have to do it later. So let's go into the interface. Let's set the inside zone where we are going to trunk our sub interfaces. So interface gi, let me see if it works. Gi 0/1. Oh, it actually works, and then I can use this no name if. So this is basically where our demilitarized zone. Oh no, actually I don't think this is not this. Oh, this is basically for our trunking sub interface, so we're not going to add any IP address and no shutdown. Alright, so now let us set our sub interface for VLAN 10. So we're going to go into int gi gi 0/1.10 and bam. So these are sub interface here. These are sub interface. This is basically the normal interface, but because of we created this thing virtual LANs here, and we enable trunking between those two virtual LANs, so we don't really need a name if and an IP address. We can just set it up individually for each virtual local area network. So the VLAN going to be 10, VLAN 10, name if is going to be inside 10. This is going to be the name of our sub interface. Okay, set to 0 by default. Now let's set the security level to 100. Level 100. Hold on, I want to quickly sort something out. I'll be back. So we set this up for so for people who don't know, I'm back actually, so I shall say that. So security level is basically like the level at which you enforce security within a particular network within the firewall. So we are setting like the highest security level, one of the highest security level for our interface, which is security level 100, and this is mostly assigned for those for inside the interface. Like this place now, let's say this is our company, I want to make sure that and like our like things like the amount of data flowing from here, from our switch or from our devices to our file or to the public internet is limited. So we have to set up a demilitarized zone so that it will not be able to like have like direct access to the internet. So it's only like a few IPs that might be able to like connect to these devices. And since we've set our VLAN to from like virtual local area network, let's say this one is for HR and then this one is for like IT, then these ones here will have a different security. This one we have a more security level or a different security level than this VLAN. So let's just do what we need to do, but for the sake of like learning, we're just going to set all our security levels to 100. So let's go. All our security levels within the demilitarized zone to 100. So all right, Now that we have done that, we are going to set up our IP address. This will be 10.10.10.10.1, and this is going to be a class C IP address. Alright, so we're done with that. Exit. Let's do for VLAN 20 now. VLAN 20. Oh, okay, sorry. Supposed to be int gi, that's 0/2.1.20. yeah .20, 1.20. so this is going to be VLAN 20. Name if is going to be inside 20, and 0. These are the lowest like security level here, so we're going to make it the highest security level, 100, and our IP address is going to be 10.20.20.1, and this is going to be a class C IP, and bam. Alright, so now we are going to set up our DMZ zone configuration. This is going to be here. What am I saying? Oh, yeah, this is going to be here. Alright, so let's us go int gi IP address 10.20.20.1. Oh, sorry, forgot security level 50. Let's just put it here, and IP address 172.16.1.1, and this will be a class C. Okay, no shutdown. Oh, let me type no shutdown for this sub interface. Right, so let's just set up basic routing, to let's just point default traffic out of our ISP router. So this is just basically like our ISP router at this point, just using it for testing. So route outside normal all IPs to 2.1.1, and that's it. So we're basically done with our Cisco ASA. Correction, so sorry when I said this was going to be our DMZ. This is not the DMZ, this is the DMZ here, but we are making it, this is our local, like our private network. This is our private network. This area here is our private network, is the one that we don't want certain secrets to go out from into the internet. This is a demilitarized zone. It is the place where anything like they can literally have access to the internet, to this ISP router here, and it will basically broadcast network and packets and whatever. But this is not the DMZ. I apologize. Yeah, so we're going to go into our router now. So with that, we can just minimize this, and hold on, let me just suspend this one for now, and let me go into the router console, and one thing here, let me start this and go here, do right, exit, do right. It's an ambiguous command. Okay, write memory. Alright, boom, we're done. Okay, so let me just suspend this. Okay, so let's go here and set up our IPs and the IPs and our static routes. I'm tired. So enable configure. Let me just type it, terminal, and let's see what's the interface we use. G0/0 here, right? So G0/0. So in G0/0, inside the interface, our IP address is going to be 203.0.113.1, and it's going to be class internet, no shutdown, and exit. So let's set our static routes. So IP route 10.10.10.0 to 3.0.1. Okay, and another IP route to this. Alright, so I had to we're back again. So the last one I wrote IP address, which it shouldn't be. So we're going to set up the IP for this for all our PCs. So let's just do show IP. We already have our gateway. Is our IP subnet mask. I'm going to do it for all PCs, all of them. Yeah, so this one now is going to be IP 10.10.10.3 255.255.255.0 and 10.10.10.10.1 as our default gateway. So this will be IP 10.20.20.255.255.255.255.0 and 10.20.20.1, which is going to be our default gateway. Let's just show IP. Voila. And number 4, let me open console. Number 4 we'll soon turn on all this, but I just need time to basically configure all this. So IP 10.20.20.3 255.255.255.0 10.20.20.1. Boom. Yeah. Alright, so I just cancel this for now until we need them. Okay, so show IP. Boom. So going to, yeah, this is going to be our IP address for the web and the mail, and and for this is the mail server. Let's just click on console and console. Web server. So this one is going to be, let's just check this again, .2.3. so IP 172.16.1.2 let's check our VNC. Let's check the yes, 16.1.1. Alright, and for the mail server, IP 172.16.1.3 255.255.255.0 172.16.1.1. Now show IP, and we are good to go. So now just remain to test. Okay, how do I test this? Project to see it's working. Right, so we're going to test it now. Configure terminal. Okay, so one, allow ICMP ping inspection on the ASA. By default, the ASA is a stateful firewall that drops return ICMP traffic. Before testing, you must tell the ASA it will inspect and allow pings to pass through, otherwise your test will fail even if your routing is perfect. Okay, so this one is step 2. Well, open console for VP1 or VP3, ping it. Okay, the ASA security level top to 0 because we enabled ICMP inspection. Okay. Tell DMZ should pass. Okay. Enabled ICMP. Okay. Tell test inside DMZ should pass. Host inside the network security, be able to read your console for VPC1. Where is that? Okay. Ping. Okay. So all. Okay. All right. If hacker compromise your DMZ, they shouldn't be able to break into your internal corporate network. Open the console for VPC5. Ping to this. Expect timeout. Okay. Expect results, failure, timeouts. The ASA will actively drop this traffic because security level is trying to initiate a connection to security level 100. Okay, outside the DMZ. So we're going to try all these steps now. Okay, so the first thing we have to do is to set up ICMP. So first of all, let's go back to our server, to our firewall, and start it. And we are going to test the ICMP. So let's just do what Gemini tells us to do. So configure terminal. Okay. because sometimes I'm having difficulties with. Okay, configure terminal policy map, and this will be global policy. Class inspection underscore default, and let's enable NCMP inspect ICMP and end. Voila. Write memory. I always forget that. So just going to minimize this for now, and now we're going to do this test inside to outside. From inside to outside, that's host inside the security network, security 100 to have. Okay, let's go into our VPC 1, no, this PC2, PC4. Okay, so let's try and ping this IP address here. So okay, ping 203.0.113.1. okay, host not reachable. Oh, okay, I think this stuff here is bugged, but let's try it again. Okay, let me go back. Console. What's wrong with this? Oh, okay, ping 203.0.113.1, and it doesn't work. Okay, now let's try pinging. Ping 10.20.20.2, and doesn't work again. Okay, let's try this 10.10.10.3. doesn't work. Oh, this is actually charge. I'm just gonna say ChatGPT. The ASA reply is allowed backing. Is it? But let's just try this one now. Or maybe. Hold on. We set the security to 100 for our virtual LANs, so it will be very difficult for all this to ping outside. So let's try something else. Test inside to DMZ. So let's try and ping this server here. Let's use the web server. So let's see, VPC1 ping 172.16. What's the IP again? That's 1.2. Still doesn't work. It does not work. Let's try pinging to this one. Ping 10.0 10.10.2. Host, the main host, the gateway is not reachable. So that means that it's okay. Sorry about that, family. We suspended this. Hold on. let's go back here to okay, exit, right, memory. Whoa. Hold on. Okay, build configuration. So exit, right, memory. Okay. Please, I'm begging you, don't shut down on me. Don't shut down on me. Yeah, I was thinking why that stuff wasn't working, but I temporarily turned off this two here, so I really don't want this to not fail. Yes, and it actually works. Yeah, sorry about that. It actually works. So let's try testing the ones that we have before here, and still not reachable. What's going on? Hold on. What happened? Okay, check here. Hold on. I want to turn this off. Just turn it off or reload. Let's just reload. And console. So show IP. Oh, IP 10.10.10.2 255.255.255 10.10.10.1. I reload and immediately the thing just log out. The thing, all the data, all the API test, everything is gone. Alright, let's see the IP. Now let's test it. Ping 172.168.1.2 and so sorry the notes are solving now. Let's try and ping this timeout. So apparently this one, if we try and ping from here to this side, it doesn't work. But if we ping from here to this side, it should work. Supposed to work. PC3 actually works. I don't know why this server isn't work. Okay. Discovery store, configure wizard. I think it's having some issues or something like that. But this actually worked. So let's try pinging. What's the IP for this one again? Show IP. This 20.20 bar. Ping 10.10.10.1. Those two. Yeah, I don't think it will work. But so it worked with this 203.0 dots the symbol. Let's just try 172.168.1.2. Yes, and it actually works. But like because of the VLAN, it won't be able to communicate to this other one. I don't really know why this one isn't working, honestly. Okay, ping was 10.10.1. It's not working. Why that is, I don't know. So let's just remove this for now, and let's also go into Wireshark. So let's test this first. Where should we test? I think we should test this first. Let's not go there. Let's not touch this area. Start capture and STP is looking at the spanning tree protocol. Calm down. But let's just test the configuration now. So if we try this one, it's supposed to work. Let's try from PC3. So ping timeout. Okay, yeah, it's working. And you will see request reply. Who has this one? Is just a broadcast. So this is just a broadcast. This is like basically asking who has this IP. Right. Ooh. Sorry about that. Let's ping 203.0.113.2, I guess. Let's cancel this. That's one. Yeah, it should work. Okay. This I follow. There's actually nothing to follow. It's just ICMP packets. Well, that's that for that. So hold on. Let me just stop packet traffic and let me just save this. Save wire test 1. So that's for this side, capturing for this side. So let's just stop it. Okay, let's try for this one now. Start capture and let's go. Already starting to communicate via STP. So let's try pinging to this 10.20.20.2, and it should give us a timeout because we cannot connect. We're not supposed to connect it from outside from the Demilitarized Zone, right? But if we test this is 1.2 bar. So if we test this over, okay, it actually works. Let's use PC4. Let's use PC4 now. Let's PC4 console. Grab configuration was written successfully. Okay, written on disk successfully. So let's test one more thing. Ping 10.20.20.3. Oh, Sorry, this is the one. Sorry about that. Yeah, this is the R1. It's not supposed to be like that. Okay, provide switch port ID gigabit 0. It's not supposed to. It's not even supposed to be there. So ping 10.20.20.3 not reachable. Yeah, that means that there's something wrong with this 10.10.10.1. But other than that, the remaining, they are, everything checks out. Yeah, I think with this one we'll have to wait a little bit. So console from VPC1, this did not work, and from DMZ to inside. Oh, that's true. Let's try it. Did we? Yes, it didn't work. It didn't work. It didn't work. It didn't work. So it's supposed to, yes, drop the traffic, and testing outside to DMZ. That's security 0 should not be able to have access to the DMZ without explicit permission. So R1, open the console for R1, ping this. Let's try that. So ping 172.16. Yeah, hold on, let me turn off this Wireshark because I don't see the need for it now. Stop and quit without saving. Let us cancel this. No, let's capture now. Stop capture. Let's. Oh no, please, oh, don't fail. No. Johnson is about to get good. Fail to receive. Oh. Well, I think that's for now. Yeah. It's saying you can't capture. Error stopped while stopping capture on link. Okay, it's just the packet capture. So let's try this. And R1.1.2 timeout immediately. Bam. Echo ping, no response found. And this is the work of the ASA firewall. We're going to this. So basically, in summary, this firewall created a demilitarized zone where we can basically have access to the public internet, but this is the private network where nobody should be able to have access to this unless they are within the company or within the infrastructure. But this is basically like our outside network, and some of the most critical things or some of the things that we want to have access to via the internet is kept here. So the ISP like this router here cannot communicate with this. Our ISP router cannot communicate with this because of the settings, the way we configured our firewall. Alright, so I think I'm done. I need to go and sleep. Still capturing packets. Stop the capture now. Go to that saving. I thought it was not going to capture this packet here, but well, I guess not. Let's I need to call it for the day. So I think this would be the this is going to be it. Thank you all for listening, and goodbye.